We had some technical issues when it came to saving, but it's okay. We got fixed. Kind of. Here's what happened on the previous episode of Fallstreak. They had no food for 4 weeks. Hell, no wonder they went crazy. Her face was right before me now, as if to substitute for her absent tears rained streams down her features. What I couldn't take my eyes off was how pained she looked, as if she'd been the one that stabbed. I see. I cough weakly as something warm flows up from deep within. I'm sorry, Amine. I made the same mistake. The same mistake that I made with my dearest beloved. The warmth dribbles down my cheek. It falls to the ground below. I thought I understood you, but the truth was, I didn't understand a thing. I'm sorry. Why? Why are you apologizing? Because my beloved daughter's been suffering for all this time, and I never even noticed. Father. Please promise me something, Amine. Promise me that you'll reach out to someone. Reach out to your family who loves you dearly. Don't make the same mistake that my wife did. Don't try to bear everything on your own. The world was so blurry. As if to cling onto it, I stretch out weakly. So dark. So cold. It scared me. How I couldn't see anything anymore. But then, at that moment, something takes hold of my quaking hand and gently steadies it. Her touch. It was so warm. I smile at the comfort it brings me. I'm coming to join you now, my dear Louise. The world fades to black, and I sink into a deep slumber. Drip, drop, the sound of blood. It seeps into my fingers. It wets my steps. Why? I was running. Away from something, or after something. I didn't know. Why? A vision of spreading red. Red that blossomed out from beneath Cordero's lifeless body. Red that swallowed Mallory as flames engulfed and consumed her. Red that gouged into Eloit's eyes as she tended to Lynette and Dia's corpses. My head was buzzing again. The buzzing won't stop. Ah. A certain beat-up building. Mallory and I once called this place home in the past. Throwing open the front door, I tumble inside. A puddle of cold water accumulates under me as I sprawl into the ground. Tiny dots. As if to reject the sudden halt in movement, they swim through my vision erratically. Dragging myself through the darkness, I grope around blindly. Eventually, I come across a bucket full of water. I plunge my hands into it, trying to wash the blood off them. You'll never be able to wash it off. A yawning abyss. It whispers to me. It swallows me up. Come off. Come off. Come off. Over and over again. Until my hands are tender. Until my hands are raw. I scrub. No matter how much I scour them, they remain stained the same sickly dark hue. My fingers felt like they were encrusted in the sticky substance, preventing them from moving freely. Go away. Go away. Go away. My skin is going to tear at this rate. I don't relent. Why? Why can't I wash it away? I peer into the bucket. However, what lay inside was not water. What lay inside was... blood! I knocked the bucket away. Okay, well... was it a baby fetus or what? As it rolls to a stop, glowing shades of liquid red begin to spread from its fallen form, staining the darkness. My cans were coated in writhing red. It was consuming me. It was consuming all I held dear. I'm sorry. You're not human. I'm sorry. You're a monster. Someone like you should just die. How the hell can she see anything if she sees that? My father was always a hard-to-understand man. Atune's voice quakes as he stands before the room of mourners. On the surface, he was always laughing. But at times, his face would suddenly grow dark and solemn, and I wouldn't know what he was thinking. Whenever that happened, I would always get the urge to ask him what was on his mind. But my voice would never come out. I always ended up just staying silent. Why is it that, I wonder? He cursed the podium with such intensity, the wood creaks. He was a man that didn't talk about himself a lot. Even though I'm his son, there's so much I don't know about him. I think that's why he was always laughing. So when people passed by him, they'd smile and shake their heads, thinking what a fool. His laughing face was a mask that hid his true self. I think I might have been afraid of what lay behind that mask. Afraid of the way he carried inside him. I don't remember anything about my mother, you see. She died when I was very young. Whenever we visit her gravestone, I felt like I became a different person. A person chained by regrets of the past. Atun takes a deep breath. I think that's why he threw himself into his work so much. He was the first person to notice something strange about the disappearance surrounding Lost. My father believed that someone was behind the disappearances, that someone was killing the people of Socotrine. Even when people doubted his claims, he persisted. It was his duty to protect the people after all. Eventually it came to light that he was correct, and he formed a team to catch the killer. But that's when killer caught him. That's when Atun's voice cracks. Tears begin to drip onto the podium before him. Unable to speak any longer, Atun bites his lip and lowers his head. For a long time he simply stood there, trembling. It was difficult to watch. Atun. At that moment someone stands. Lord Cecil Cotard. The reigning sovereign of Socotrine. Also a childhood friend of Atun's. Your father was an honorable man who laid his life on the line for Socotrine. The miskillings and all the murders leading up to it. No matter how much of a demon they may be at the slaying so many. Together we'll find the perpetrator and have the answer for their crimes. Me and my blade, and the blades of the lost children. Another person stands. Atun. Belisaria Faro. Heiress of the influential old aristocracy House of Faro. She's another childhood friend of Atun's. Another friend of mine. I know that your father always had your best interests at heart. And when we were little, he would always scrape the bottom of his wallet to buy materials so you could pursue your passion. You're not alone in your grieving. Any families that have lost loved ones mourn alongside you. The fans of mental loss will not go unpunished. You have the House of Faro's unwavering support. One by one, people rise to their feet, sharing their strength and solidarity with Atun. The fiend won't get away with this. We'll show them no mercy. We'll not rest until Cordero has been avenged. The streets are not safe until the killer's been caught. Before long, the entire room was standing. Allies of the Lyrett family, who had all come to mourn the loss of someone dearly beloved to them. Thank you, everyone. Together we'll find who did this, and we'll bring them to justice. I see. This feeling of being crushed from all sides. This must have been how Mallory felt on the day that she faced the crowd. Cursed by everyone, forsaken by all. It was like the entire world was against me. But that was only natural, because I'm a monster after all. I'm a monster! The sound of falling rain. This light, it helps drown out the buzzing. I remember, I once dreamed of seeing a world full of color. In a way, my wish had indeed come true. Yeah, that's not full of color. That's crazy. I don't know what that is. Look, it's making the sound of your name. A twisted, tainted hue. The red illusion. There was no longer anything that could escape it. Kelia, Triss, Atun, Alouette, not even they were safe. I wanted to carve them open, just like I had with Cordero. A maddening desire to gouge and rend, to kill and gorge. It wells up from deep inside me, causing my hands to tremble. As if I'd allow such a thing. All I need to think about is how to prevent harm from befalling them. If there's something that threatens them, it must be eliminated. Therefore, if I am a threat to them, I simply have to eliminate myself. Easier said than done. Having arrived at that conclusion, my feet lead me to a certain place. Heaven's Fall. Oh. Coming over here, are we? A bridge where the lost and weary yielded their lives to Eviget. What are you thinking? You followed me. For me to not notice, it was proof of my mind's deterioration. Why? Why? I gazed down at the rapidly flowing water. I didn't want to look at him. You don't have to do this. You don't have to bear everything all alone. Why? Why do you always try to bear the weight all alone? Please. Lean on me. Let me help. Please promise me something, Amine. Promise me that you reach out to someone. Reach out to your family who loves you dearly. I'm lost. Lost in the sea of uncertainty. But maybe, just maybe, I step back from the edge. I'm an A. Altoon rushes forward and wraps me in his embrace. He was shaking. She's gonna throw him off. Don't scare me like that. The thought of losing you, so soon after losing father, I wouldn't be able to bear it. I have to tell him. Stealing my heart, I pull away from him, unable to meet his gaze, staring at the dark water below. Altoon. Yes? The words wouldn't come, though. They stick in my throat, a clump of hot and heavy air. What is it, Am? I was terrified. So terrified I couldn't stop shaking. Please, you can tell me anything. I know. Where the phantom Menelaus is. The air around him changes. What? You know who did it? You know who killed father? As if he'd become a different person. You know anything, please tell me. I need every clue we can get. No, Altoon, wait. See. That's what it was. I was only thinking about myself. Father's death must have affected you so much as well. It's only natural. I'm afraid too. Anyone would be. The phantom slew dozens in cold blood after all. Someone like that isn't human. Ooh. His words cut into me like a sharp blade. Bro, you shouldn't have said it. You should not have said it. I gouged my insides out and spilled them across the cold ground. It's okay if you're not sure about it. Every bit of information helps. The investigation's been cold for so long after all. He's gonna die. Like right here. Yes, with this, maybe we'll finally be able to find them and make them pay. It was the same. His face. His face was the same as theirs. I'll kill them. Kill her. I'll make sure they burn in hell for what they've done. Burn her. It was the same face that the crowd wore on that day. At that time. Only then will father be able to rest in peace. And when that monster is dead, it was too much. I couldn't bear it anymore. I stepped back. I wanted to run away. Wait. Jim grabs my arm. Let go. Please. You know something, don't you? Tell me. Too hard. What? You're holding too hard. It only causes him to tighten his grip. What's wrong with you? I don't get it. I don't understand. Why don't you tell me? He reaches out with his other hand. Burn the witch! Ugh. Kill him. Altoon's below me now. His pale, defenseless throat goes right before me. Tear him apart. My body moves. I watch as my fingers wrap around his neck. He's the same. Same as those who murdered Mallory. All I had to do was tighten, to press down and squeeze. It would take nothing at all to wring the life out of him. But despite that, Altoon doesn't struggle. Without a hint of resistance, he gazes into my eyes. Why? Why aren't you resisting? Because the one that's really hurting isn't me, is it? The one that's really hurting is you. Reaching out slowly, he brushes my hair to the side. You're crying so much after all. The clear raindrops drip down onto his face from above. The tension in my hands melts away. I rise to my feet. Don't follow. I turn my back on him and take off into the rain. Amine. His voice rings out behind me, but I don't stop. I was a fool. A fool to think I had any allies in this world, because I'm not human. I'm a monster. I just wanted to save the game, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and take a screen capture of that. What the hell? Let's go ahead and ignore. Oh my god. What's going on? What? Take me out of here. Take me out of here. Title? No. Load? You mother. Can I save? No? Don't auto. Can I save? Asshole. You're an asshole, game. You're a complete asshole. Oh, okay. It did save. Whew. I didn't think it was saving at the right place. Game, please. Please! For the love of gaming, please. It got scared. I don't know if I can handle this anymore, wow. There's so much death. There's so much red. Red scribbles. Overhead, the rain had begun to intensify. Facing the sky above, I watched on as the falling rain transformed into curtains of writhing scarlet. It's like, oh my gosh, she's getting so pissed. I better let her freaking save. I wanted to deny that dripping red with all my soul, but the hopelessness binding me swallows up any attempt I make to cry out. It was like trying to scream underwater. The deluge simply rushes down my throat, muffling all attempts to voice myself. It was a struggle to even breathe. I mean, it's a struggle to even see. I shut my eyes as the little red illusion slowly consumes everything in sight. I couldn't contain it anymore. My desire to kill, my desire to eat, was overflowing. So much that the very next person I met, at that moment, an impossible silence descends upon the world. The sound of rain had disappeared. In its place, one sound alone rang out. Footsteps. Little ones. Like those of a child. I opened my eyes blankly. A small figure was heading down the path in my direction. It was someone I recognized. Someone I was very familiar with. Oh, it's Mommy. No. My body begins to move of its own accord. No. Run. Run, Kalia. What? What just happened? Cold water was dripping down my face. Sorry, Mommy. I couldn't resist her seeing how drenched you already were. Whee! Making use of a rain boost, Kalia vaults over a puddle. When she comes down, water sprays everywhere, including on us. I watch on in stupor as Kalia dances through the puddles. There is a strange magnetism to the way she completely absorbs herself in the act. It stirs something in me. Huh? My body moves on its own. I plunge into a nearby puddle, sending geysers of water through the air. At first, Kelly seems surprised, but then she laughs and her feet join mine. Together, the two of us dance under the rain, punctuating the air with a symphony of splashing that crashes lyrically against the patter of raindrops. So she was psychotic one moment, and then Kelly is splashed in water and she was okay. So now she's splashing in the water with Kalia? That's weird. Dissonant, yet also harmonious. It was a strange feeling like that. The sound of Kalia's laughter. It drowns out the buzzing in my head. Wipes clear the red lingering at the edge of my vision. It was nonsensical. Foolish even. But even then, deep in my heart, I found myself wishing this moment could last forever. Whew, I'm soaked. Indeed. The two of us were sopping wet now. We're really dumb, aren't we? Why'd we do that? But though she says that, there was a big grin on her face. Can you make soup when we get home, Mommy? Ellie begins to walk. My feet naturally bring me to her side. It was a well-ingrained habit of mine. Most parents hold on their children's hand to keep track of them. But since Kelly had no hands to hold, I had always been careful to match her pace as she grew. Soup again? We had soup last night already. Mommy's done killing people for the night. Let's go make soup. I want to eat soup. Soup, soup. Animal crackers in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits, loop the loop. Kelly sways and bobs as she walks by my side. She seemed to be in a good mood. She was just a child. But maybe I should ask her. Kelia. Yes, Mommy? Have you ever thought that I'm abnormal? Different from other people? Kelly tilts her head quizzically. Eh? Did I just quote Shirley Temple? Did I? I don't know. I think I only watched Shirley Temple once in my life. Did I? Animal crackers in my soup, monkeys and rabbits loop de loop. I don't know that quote. It's a weird quote. To be yourself conscious about the scar on your tummy? I think you need to grow up, Mommy. There's nothing compared to the burn marks on my face. This little brat. Wah! Huh. A little more water won't make any difference anyways. I don't know why I bothered asking this little runt. Wah, Mommy's pouting. I got to see so many new faces from you today, Mommy. Hey, Mommy? What? What now? Thanks. I can't remember the last time we played like this. It was really, really fun. Trying to look up at me, she grins widely. Her smile, so clear and colorful. It hurt to look at. Unable to bear, I avert my gaze. Mommy? Her voice sounded different. Mommy? She'd been so bright and cheerful moments ago, but now she looked like a lost child. What's wrong? You love me, right? Me and Daddy and Triss? You love us, right? Of course. You know that. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. Kelly laughs. It wasn't like her usual laughter. It was an anxious, uneasy laugh. I guess I just want to hear you say it sometimes. I don't know. Is that weird? Maybe. I'm being too needy? Mommy. Earlier when we were playing in the puddles, you were smiling and it made me really happy. But it also made me really sad. Because it made me think about the time I last saw you smile. And I couldn't remember. Helia. Her lips tremble faintly. She stops and lowers her head. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense, but sometimes I get scared. I get scared that you'll go someplace far away. Like prison, for instance. Big wet tears. They gather in her eyes and melt with the rain streaming down her face. I wanted to reach out and wipe them away, but I couldn't. Because even now, lingering visions of the red illusion were binding my hands. You won't leave us, right? I was torn. She wanted me to stay by her side, but so long as I drew breath, she was not safe. Mommy. Please tell me. Please tell me why the music is so loud right now, Mommy. You won't leave us, right? I couldn't answer. I felt like my chest was being squeezed dry. I felt like the world was collapsing in on me. It was so dark. It was so cold. At that moment, a light impact strikes my side. Aww. Save this game. Save it right now. My settings. I just want to know how to, like... I wish I knew how to get this text box off so I could screenshot. Because this is a nice little image. Switch to boy, save! Save! I won't let go. Even though she couldn't hold on to me very well, she clings to me. I won't let go. She was so bright. She was so warm. My sweet dear Kelia, I'm sorry. The world is cruel. Cruel to have made a monster like me your mother. There, I screenshot it. I was a fool. A fool to have returned home that day. Perhaps somewhere in my heart I'd hoped the red illusion would not return. How ridiculous. The story Mother had told was unbelievable. From the fire of collapse to the missed killings and Grandpapa's death. It all seemed unreal. The red illusion. Even what she called it. It all made sense now. Why Mother never kissed us goodnight. Why she never wiped our tears away. Why she never held us, no matter how much we longed for a touch. It wasn't because she didn't want to do those things. It was never her wish to deprive us of the physical affection and intimacy we craved so much from her. Now you know, Triss. Now you know what a monster your mother truly is. You're not a monster. I want to shout that out with all my soul. It's not your fault. Anyone would break if placed in such a cruel situation. And yet you suffered silently for so long. Your father's right. Someone like me isn't human. Why? It hurt. It hurt to hear her deny and demonize herself. Why does she have to suffer like this? Has she been through enough already? Unable to express the feelings bubbling up inside me, I take her hand and press it against my cheek. I let my hot tears brush against her skin. Triss. Her fingers trace along the path my tears leave behind. They correspond. To me, your clear eye was the one absolutely beautiful thing. I wanted to fill it with color and ducks, innocent things like that. More than anything, I didn't want you to show this side of me. I didn't want to see you make such a face. But in the end, I tried to kill you. You should hate me. I shake my head against her hand, furiously, as if to reject the mere notion. I love you, Mom. I love you more than anything in the world. You struggled against it. You tried to fight it. And when you lost, you despaired. You're not a monster. You're human. An obsession that neared desperation. More than anything, I wanted my thoughts to reach her, but it was useless. No matter how much I wanted to, I couldn't make my heart known to her. All I could do was tremble pathetically in her arms. In this deep dark well. Don't be naive, Triss. I know exactly what you're thinking. I'm your mother, after all. Crying for another's sake even when you're hurting so much yourself. You really are just like her. I can see what kind of expression mother is as she whispered to me. Colorless. Meaningless. Even though I had no right to live, I clung to her life for all this time. A dark ceiling without a star. You were the light that allowed me to make it this far. I love you, Triss. Thank you for being born. Burying her face in my hair, Mother kisses me deeply. The rivulets running down my face become rivers. They break and submerge me. Dawn is breaking. The two of us watch on as the hole of light appears above us begins to brighten. It felt liberating. At the same time, it felt suffocating. Triss. Mother's hand leaves mine. An aching longing wells up within me in the absence of her fleeting warmth. Listen careful to me, Triss. I am going to die soon. For a moment her words don't register in my mind. When they do, I pull away from her. My body trembles. I was afraid. Suffocating! No breathing! Don't give a— I was afraid. Afraid to look behind me. Afraid of what I might see. Triss. Blood was trailing from her mouth even as she spoke. In the light, I realized. The darkness staining the well was red. I'm going to die. But you cannot die here, Triss. You must survive. Mother retrieves something from her pocket, a blue handkerchief, as blue as the boundless sky. Using her blood as ink, she scrawls a message onto the cloth. Then she secures it to her knife. Triss. Oh wait. It's quite misty in here, isn't it? At first I couldn't understand what she meant. When I blink, the world changes. The prismatic mist. At some point it engulfed the entirety of the well. Ah. Lily's body shifts within the mist. The sound of creaking. No. Cracking. Like wood bending and snapping. Was she trying to get up? No. Stop. I try to reach out, but stay back. The strength in her voice overpowers me. It roots me to my feet. Shouldn't have been possible after falling from such height. But there's no doubt. Mother was standing. Right before me, she was standing. Triss. Mother extends her hand towards the circle of light overhead. Do you remember? When your father was paving the walkway in front of our house, you and Callie walked through the fresh cement. I didn't know what she was trying to say. The resolve and desperation in her voice was unmistakable. I had to listen carefully. What she was saying was important. You and Kelly had walked through the fresh cement. At first your father was very troubled, and the two of you started to cry. Then she smiled. He smiled and said it was okay. You remember what he did? Yes, he filled our footprints with colorful clay molds and etched our names alongside them. Then he laughed and called it a happy accident. Picture it, Triss. Facing the circle of light overhead, Mother draws the knife back, as if to split the very mist before her. Close your eyes. Guided by her voice, I let myself sink into darkness. Come now. Try to imagine. The yard in front of our house. The grass that you and Kelly play in so often. It is wet with morning dew. The birds are chirping. In the distance, the sun is rising. Try to imagine it. You're standing right there. A vision of our home spreads out before me. It's vivid beyond belief. I can hear the birds chirping, the wind on my skin, and the sunrise. It was beautiful. Picture it, where those footprints led. What lies at the end of the path? A crystal clear truth. A reality dictated and woven by your hands. It paints over the canvas of the world, overriding the laws of the universe. Now, look up. At the moment, something flashes through the air. Time slows to a crawl as it passes before my eyes. Frog in the well. A knife. A knife with a blue handkerchief bound to it. It splits open the sky and shatters the vision before me. I forced my eyes open. The mist was gone. The only thing that remained was Mother's figure, her right hand stretched out before her, as if reaching for the distant sky. The knife in her hand was gone. I see. That's what it looks like. The boundless blue sky. Thank you, Triss. Thank you for showing me a world full of color. It happens as if in slow motion. Slowly her body tilts, and she falls. Mom. I rush to her side. Wait, no! Screenshot! Oh, come on. There we go. What a pretty picture of Mom to hang up on our wall. Triss. They should come now. When you hear them, pound on the walls. Pick at the water. Struggle with everything you have. I'm sorry, but this is all I can do for you. No. I'm sorry. Light was fading from her eyes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Regret that ring. Okay. Okay. This ain't no Legend of Mana over here, right? I'm so sorry. So sorry. Regret that ring out like a prayer. I'm sorry. Shut up, Mom. Your chapped lips repeating one thing. I'm sorry, everyone. Mallory, Alouette, Father, Atun, Kalia, and Triss. No. 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 Sorry you had such a monster for a mother. With his final words, Mother's eyes fall shut. It was deafening. This tiny world where her breaths were no more. Cursing herself. Rejecting herself. Even as she lay dying, she had carried the burden to the very end. As if being forsaken by the world was not enough. As if dying in this cold, dark well was not enough. It was too cruel. Why? Why am I so powerless? I couldn't save her. No. You're the reason she's dead. If only I hadn't chased her. If only I hadn't pushed her into a corner. Maybe then she'd still be alive. It's all your fault. Lifting my arm feebly, I reach out for her. The silence that gripped the air was broken by a faint buzzing as my hand overlapped hers. It was then that I noticed. Glowing splashes of vivid red were staining my arms from the elbow up. That dripping red was burning onto the pale white hand I held. That detestable red was spreading, blossoming out from underneath her. That's odd. I see. I shut my eyes as it crawls up the walls, engulfing everything in sight. But this is the red illusion. Even with my eyes closed, I could still see it. Her lifeless body, draped in dripping red. Weird. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and if you enjoyed it, leave a like and hit the sub for more walkthroughs, playthroughs, and let's plays on the gaming experience.